Good morning, Namibia, and the rest of the world, wherever you may be reaching us from this morning. A very exciting day here at Namibia Media Holdings as we bring you live the coverage of the 2020 regional and local authority elections. My name is Taiwan Jabela, your host, and I'm coming live to you from our studios here in Eros. I will now introduce my colleagues who will be helping in the next 2 to 3 days to broadcast this event for you. Of course, introducing first and foremost my colleagues Limba Mupetami and Jemima Bukes, who will be taking care of a slot of their own for this election. Ladies, good morning.
Thank you so much, Toivo.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Limba, quickly, you're a sports reporter, and I'm just thinking, you know, there's so much interest of young people into this election. Do you think sports is a consideration by anyone when they're voting in this election?
Yes, of course, Toivo. Some of the candidates, when they were presenting their manifestos, were speaking about how they want to use their influence to obviously, you know, create a sporting hub in their constituencies, their respective constituencies. So obviously today, when the voters, the citizens go out to the polls, they would be looking at that and obviously voting on what the issues that they would like to be addressed. So obviously, yes, sports is definitely consideration.
Thank you. And Jemima, the preparedness from a logistics point of view, you've been monitoring this situation, ECN, you know, dealing with a bigger election this year, given the number of independent candidates and everyone else. What are your observations as far as preparedness is concerned?
Well, Toivo, the ECN has promised to deliver a credible and very smooth elections. The issue, however, is that with the ballot box returning, there may be time spent on educating people at the polling station, but I don't think it would be as much as the time that they would have spent on the EVMs, which has taken much time in the previous elections. So I'm expecting things to go smoother than it did in the past elections, but we will have to see.
Yes, thank you, colleagues. I appreciate it. And then, of course, also presenting a slot of their own are my colleagues, Francois Steinberg and Danny Boyson. Morning, colleagues.
Good morning, Toby. Good morning, viewers.
Yes. Francois, thank you for joining us. Just a quick one, really. You'll be covering part of, when you're not in the studio, of course, you'll be covering mostly rural commerce. And I'm thinking, in a place like, you know, your likes of Groot-Alp, Dordabes, what are the likely driving factors for elections?
Yeah, I will be covering Windhoek Rural in Commerce Region and Groot-Alp and Dordabes. Those communities are from the poorest communities.
Yes.
Sometimes there are not water at Groot-Alp, Dordabes, Groot-Alp, lack of job opportunities, so there are a lot of challenges in Windhoek Rural.
Indeed, thank you very much for that. Danny Grootman, just thank you very much first for really helping organizing this very good platform. You were very much involved in this thing, and I'm just wondering, why is it important for a company like Namibia Media Holdings and indeed the media industry in general to be intimately involved in a process like this of elections?
Toivo, I think, first of all, it's not about us, it's about democracy. And if you're thinking about core rights that we have to protect, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of thought even, the freedom to differ, that is crucial to democracy.
Yes.
So it's very important for all media, but also all citizens to support our democracy with everything we've got.
Yeah.
And even at sub-national and national level like today, because people might think we had a general election last year.
Yes.
These elections are so-called less important. I don't think it's true.
Yeah.
It's even more important that we support these elections because it's closer to the grassroots.
Indeed. Thank you, colleagues. I appreciate your time. And then, of course, I'm also introducing my colleagues, Ronel Rademeyer and Jean-Marie Dadi, who will also tackle a slot of their own in this broadcast. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning, Toivo, and good morning to all the viewers.
Yeah, indeed. Ronel, Danny alluded to something a while ago about the difference between these two elections. and I'm thinking compared to last year's one. Do you think that this is less important? Is it as important as the other one of last year? What are the factors there?
I think it is as important as the one of last year, although I think we might see changes, especially in the outcome in urban areas,
Yeah.
with the new kids on the block. The AR of Mr. Job Amopanda, and then of course the IPC of Dr. Itula.
Indeed. Job is also Dr. Ampanda.
Yes, of late. That is so.
Okay. Okay, and then of course, Jo Marie, you are the biggest economics and business writer in this country. Just tell us what you think would be the factors from an economic point of view that would drive voters today.
Yes, Toivo. Obviously, the effects of COVID and the recession that's been coming since 2016, those effects are going to be carrying on for quite a number of years.
Yeah.
So the next 4 years, 5 years are going to be crucial to kickstart the economy. And I think now more than ever, it's going to be important to drive that economic recovery from grassroots level. And obviously, your local authorities and your regional councils are crucial in this process. And I think that is what voters will consider when they vote today. They want people with integrity. They want people with passion and skills and people who really and truly have the interests of every Namibian at heart.
Indeed. Ladies, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Toivo.
And then, of course, I'm also going to be joined here now by my colleague and friend, Frank Stephan, who is editor of Allgemeine Zeitung, our German daily here at Namibia Media Holdings. Frank, good morning.
Morning, Togo.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Just a quick one. Frank, you've seen the rhetoric, the narrative in the build-up to the elections, especially around white votes. You know, the president having made some remarks. I saw yesterday there was a document where the ombudsman has pronounced himself on the matter. But I'm wondering, why do we seem to see quite a great interest of white voters in this election this time around, in your observation?
I think when we reached independence, everybody knew that everybody's vote counts. And everybody was happy to give their vote and make use of their democratic right. But somehow then later on they lost the plot, because I think what basically happened, many of the opposition parties sort of failed in their duty really, and they didn't have a proper program.
Yeah.
So for the first time now we see that the opposition is becoming much stronger. Not to say that all whites are voting anything but SWAPO, but I think for the first time they've really got a choice, and suddenly this voter fatigue is dwindling again. So last year when we had these sudden changes and new opposition parties and new opinions, we suddenly also saw that SWAPO was suddenly coming up with new ideas again.
Yes.
And that's exactly why you need a strong opposition. And I think suddenly all of us are realizing that our vote does count, each and every one.
Yes.
But you know, at the end of the day, I think the most important part in this election is really that those who win are humble.
Yes.
And those who are defeated take that defeat graciously. I mean, we just saw in America, one of the biggest democracies, how it does not work.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't follow the example. I think we should set the example.
Indeed. Frank, thank you very much for joining us today.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, welcome back. We will now show you the number of reporters that we've deployed as Namibia Media Holdings in various regions, your regions if you are in Namibia. And we're starting, of course, we have those colleagues, the correspondents, starting with, of course, Adolf Kaure, who is based in the Erongo region and monitoring this election from Hendes Bay and Arandes. And Ogeto Greg also in the Hardap region, specifically monitoring Rehoboth and Mariental. In the Karas region, we have Elizabeth Joseph reporting from Kietmans, Aus, and Ludretz. While in Commerce region from the Windhoek West constituency, specifically Elani Smith will be reporting from there. In Erongo region, Erwin Loshna will be reporting from Swakopmund, specifically in the Erongo region, while Esther Kamati has been tasked to monitor events in Osodonjupa and Kunene, specifically in the areas of Tsumeb, Grootfontein, Ocho, Otavi, and Oshiwarongo. In Commerce region, again, we had Francois here on the stage earlier on, and confirming, of course, at the time to say that she'll be covering the Windhoek rural constituency, specifically areas of Dordabes, Grootoop, and of course Elisenheim on the outskirts of the city. Kenya Kambowe will be coming to us live or otherwise from Kavango East and Kavango West regions, monitoring Kurenkuru, Rundu, Divundu, and Bagani areas. From the Electoral Commission of Namibia headquarters in Windhoek, Christine Creer will be there in Commerce, of course, while in Walvis Bay, in Erongo region, Leandrea Lowe will be monitoring Walvis Bay. Also from the ECN headquarters will be our colleague Maricel Stoffberg here in Commerce region, while Micheline Navatises will be monitoring events as they unfold in Commerce-Dal here in the Commerce region. Monique Adams will be in Katutura and the informal settlements in Commerce, of course. So is Octavia Tsibes also in the same areas. It's a huge area, hence the deployment of 2 correspondents. Ohonet Lache will be in Hobabes in the Omaheke region, while in Erongo again, Otis Fink will be in Omaruru, Usakos, and Karibib areas of Erongo region. Steffi Bazal will be in Windhoek East, also in the Commerce region, while Tanya Bause is going to what has become her area now of specialization, if you like, Okahanja, in the Oshodonjupa region. Tunahole Mungoba will be in Otapi, Oshikuku, Oshakati, Ondangwa, and Ongwediva in the Ohangwena and Omsat regions. And then, of course, lastly, it's our colleague Tueimo Haidula, who is assigned to the 3 regions of Oshana, Ohangwena, Oshikoto, and she'll be specifically in Engela, Ehnana, Oshakati, Ondangwa, Omthia, and Ongwediva. That is our deployment of correspondents here at Namibia Media Holdings as far as the 2020 regional and local authority elections are concerned. We will be right back.
Leap into limitless flexibility and convenience with the new and improved Paratus Client Portal. With just a few clicks, you can have personal control over your account and data packages through self-service solutions. You can top up data from anywhere, anytime, monitor your data usage, check your data and account balance, download your invoices, initiate support tickets, and much more. Visit the Paratus Namibia website for more information or call the help desk on 083 300 1300.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree. Oh.
Welcome back. It's an old adage that says that our past informs our future. So during elections, it's also important to look back at trends. And in our case, in Namibia, we are looking at 31 years of democracy. Voter turnout is a very important indicator of the health of a democracy. So we start with that, the blue dot top left. That was during 1989. A lot of us didn't vote that time. We weren't old enough or maybe not even born yet. The turnout was 97%. The red line then shows turnout during the presidential and National Assembly elections, and you can see it also started quite high, 94 with 80%, then moved down substantially, and it was up and down, back up to 80% when we saw breakaway movements like the Congress of Democrats, and thereafter also the RDP moving into politics. Last year in November, only 61% on average of voters went to the polling stations. Your grey and yellow line indicates then the turnout for regional and local authority elections, and we also started quite high there, 80%, but then for the rest of the time it stayed more or less around 40%, a bit lower or sometimes a bit higher. Now, up next, before we show you the information, we're looking at participation. So how many candidates and parties participated in these elections over the years? Participation is, of course, not necessarily a measurement of quality, but it is an important indicator. So first we're going to look at your local authority elections. The top line is this year. So one can clearly see from 1992 when 6 political parties entered candidates. We are now to 18, so the blue clearly increased, as well as your red, that is local associations, resident and community associations. Started with 3, an upsurge in 2004 with 10 taking part, and this year 13. Continuing with participation, a look at the regional council elections up next, and very much the same trend. The yellow there showing your political parties, which started off with 8. We have 18 this year, and then a very, very big number there, 93 at the top. Those are the number of independent candidates. Now that 93 is between 3 and 4 times the total number of independent candidates for all the previous years together, which were 27. Another measurement which is very important is, of course, the results and the seats and how those seats are shared. We're not going to take a look at each opposition party. So we're showing you regional council seats between SWAPO and the opposition. In 92, you can see SWAPO already started good with more than 60 of the seats. Now we have 121, and during 2015, the last election 5 years ago, SWAPO won more than 100 of those. Your red shows uncontested seats for regional councils. So that was also a bit erratic, moving up and down. What is important during this year's elections, that there are no uncontested regional council seats. Looking then at local authorities, also the seats as they were won in previous elections. Again, comparing SWAPO to the opposition. The blue line first dipping a bit, but then moving upwards clearly. And the opposition, much the same that we saw in all other elections, starting reasonably close in 92, and then also moving down over these 5 years. This is, of course, the 6th year that we are voting for regional council and local authorities. Then what does it look like as it stands at the moment? This is a sort of a scoreboard, and it shows you at the moment SWAPO has 110 regional council seats and the opposition 11. That's only 9%. There were 10 by-elections over the last 5 years, and only 2 seats changed hands. In January of this year, the LPM won the Keetmanshoop urban constituency, and independent candidate in Walvis Bay won that urban seat as well. So that was the change over the past 5 years. The NUDO has 4 seats, PDM, previously DTA 2, independent candidates 2, and UDF and UPM 1 each. Looking at local authority seats, there are 377 in total, SWAPO having 74% of the total and the opposition 26. PDM leading there with 41 seats. That is all over the country, of course, followed by the UDF 22, NUDO and the RDP, each won 11 seats 5 years ago. The All People's Party 4. Then the 4 up next to that is the residents associations in Namibia. UPM won 3 seats and the COD only 1. During our broadcasting for the rest of these 3 days, from tomorrow onwards, we'll show you the same scoreboard and also indicate then how seats are given to certain parties or then individuals, and keep you up to date. Thank you.
time to leap into limitless flexibility and convenience. To register on the new and improved client portal, visit our website and click on the portal login button. Click on Register next to Don't Have an Account. Click on Register Me with My to select your preferred registration option. Enter your personal details. Select your preferred contact method. Accept the terms and conditions. Click on Create Account. Complete your registration by entering the one-time PIN sent to your chosen contact method. You are now ready to take personal control of your account. To top up prepaid or postpaid data, visit our website and click on the portal login button. Log in with your username and password. Click on the service tab, select your data bundle option and click on the buy button. If you are a prepaid client, select your preferred payment method and follow the on-screen instructions. If you're a postpaid client, confirm your purchase by clicking on Pay with Account. The data bundle will be loaded to your account balance. Data bundles are valid for 30 days. Visit the Paratus Namibia website for more information or call the help desk on 083 300 1300.
Always prepared. Paratus.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree. Oh.
All right, getting right into it. We're going to look at three regions, Erongo, the four regions in the north, as well as the Karas region this morning. In between, we will cross over to our respective colleagues in these regions to just sort of like give us a feel of what is happening on the ground over there. We'll also have two guests lined up who will of course share their views on the elections. Jemima, what do you think will happen in the Erongo region?
Well, Limba, the Erongo region is a very interesting area, especially Walvis Bay, where the ruling SWAPO party has lost massive ground in the last presidential elections, largely because of the fish rod bribery scandal, which saw thousands of fishermen lost their jobs.
Of course.
It was also largely given rise to the independent candidate phenomenon that we see playing out across the country. We are seeing many independent candidates standing there again this time around. So one will have to see if people have, since 2019 in November, when they voted for independent candidates largely, have now decided to go back to SWAPO, or are they going to continue on this pattern?
All right, right. Okay, so let's have a look at just some data from 2015, the regional elections, and see, obviously now looking at Wolfish Bay, let's just have a look at voter participation, which has taken place. So as you can see there, 22,539 people voted, or rather registered to vote in 2015, with a turnout percentage of 19.4%. Jemima, do you think now looking at it, or rather with the elections taking place this year, do you think that that has shifted, maybe with independent candidates coming up and so forth?
We are seeing more people going out to register this time around. So one would expect more voters to go to the polling station to cast their vote. So yes, Limba, I expect to see slightly more people than in the last elections. Not too many though. We still have a problem with voter apathy. People on the very last minute, you see young people saying they don't see an alternative, so they will just stay at home and not cast their vote. So it is difficult to say that it will be more than in the past. It will be slightly more, but not significantly.
All right, all right. With that, let's go for an ad break, and when we get back, we'll have a look at perhaps some footage of what is happening, and rather an interview with a guest that Jemima will speak to. So let's go for an ad break.
Genevieve. I joined the Paratus family 1st December 27. Sorry. Wat het is goed. I'm Amor Knip, Head of Department of Installations and Activations at Paratus. I'm approaching 13 years. I joined the Paratus family 1st December 2007. Getting into the office early in the morning, getting a cup of coffee, switching on my machine, salesperson standing next to me. Amor, we have an urgent request. And we do it, delivering excellent customer service. We prove to the customer that we are always prepared, we deliver the service on time. At the end of the day, perfect installation, happy customer, happy results. I'm very proud to work for Paratus. We're an awesome family, and I'm happy to still be part of the implementation of fiber, which is the future. We customer service boffins. Try us out and we'll show you what customer service is. I'll never leave Paratus because I grew old here. I started here as a young girl and I developed. We redefined the limits.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree.
Welcome back. As minority rights and human rights has always remained in the background when it comes to political campaigning. Today we have in studio Ndilo Ntengwe, an activist from iTribe Namibia, where she does advocacy. Thank you for joining us, Ndilo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Ndilo, do you think politics pay attention to minority rights, and to what extent do you think?
I think it's important that politics pays attention to minority rights, but so far we've not seen anything. There's been blatant exclusion and ignorance of minority rights, and especially during the SGBV protests, it would have been good to then see those candidates then engage with law enforcement and healthcare providers on how to improve specific conditions in their constituencies. And so we've not even seen that being reflected during the time that they've been rallying for as candidates. So they definitely are not paying enough attention, and they're definitely not giving enough input into minority concerns.
And Ndilo, we have seen, like you've said yourself, political parties do not necessarily speak out. They don't they don't take a stand when it comes to minority rights, to issues like abortion, sexual and gender-based violence. As an activist, what do you think what do you expect them to do?
Definitely, I expect them to be inclusive with their diversity, because even if we look at now the current voter turnout, for example, with the youth, we'd want them to then vote for the political parties that have been part of the protests, from the racism protest to the reproductive justice protest to the SGB protest. And that is exactly what we want them to do, to continuously, to meaningfully engage with the concerns of the communities and the constituencies that they are representing.
Yes. Now, Ndilo, you were also one of the key figures that took part in the recent sexual and gender-based violence protest. Do you think this gives us an indication of what the youth voter turnout would look like in today's elections?
Possibly, because we know that protesting is a form of political expression. And the voter turnout could also reflect that, commitment and that will to change, their constituencies, and so could be part of their political expression as well. And so, as I mentioned before, those ones that were part of the rallies during the movements that are pro-choice, pro-LGBTQ rights, pro-women's rights, they will then be the ones to turn out, especially to the candidates, vote for the candidates that have been part of the protest, that have shown interest, that have gone above and beyond to represent their interests in these ongoing movements that have arose.
Now, as we are waiting the results of the local authority and regional council election that has taken place today, in your view, what is the responsibility of these councillors that have been elected today towards minority people?
Yes, you know, I think because you can't have equality without diversity, and so they have to continuously include them in their ongoing projects. And so that would definitely be much more substantial, because then you know that there's a lot of inclusion, there's a lot of representation. And also for the candidates who were probably not chosen, they should also then continue to involve themselves. Does it end here with the vote, or how do they want to continuously be meaningfully engaging minority groups and other marginalized communities?
Now we have seen young people calling for the gender minister to be removed, and there's a feeling that there's no political willpower to address the escalating sexual and gender-based violence issue. Now, in your view, what do you think what is the responsibility of young activists like yourself to escalate this discourse when we seem to get the feeling that there's nothing coming from government?
Yes, I think just like they showed up at the sexual and gender-based violence protests in the numbers, is that the way that they should be showing up also with voting, so that they get involved on that political platforms, on those political platforms, to continue to express their views. Because also calling for the resignation of the minister is another form of political expression on the ongoing maybe lack of service delivery. And so they should continue to do that, especially now with their votes, so that that can trickle into the different ministries where then their votes and their voices are represented.
Now lastly, Ndilo, you've been, like I've said earlier, you've been a key figure in the Shut It All Down movement. What is next on the list?
Definitely what is next on the list is now what I've been doing with the work that the organization I've co-founded with Beauty Boys on the reproductive rights and abortion rights. And so we will be launching a few activities and campaigns during the 16 days of activism that also involves reproductive rights, because SGBV and abortion rights are all intersectional phenomena. So it will be continuing the conversation, and then until, you know, such a time where we can concretely then assert ourselves.
Thank you very much for joining us in the studio today, Ndilo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again.
Right, let's head over to Leandre Lowe in Walvis Bay to just take us just speak to us a little bit about what is happening on the ground there with the elections this morning.
Hi, good morning, Jemima. Good morning, Lamba. I am currently at. How are you? How are you guys doing?
Very well, very well. How are you doing? How is the weather there?
Oh, I'm good. You know, the weather is nice, but as you know, in Walvis Bay, when the sun is up very early, you know the wind is going to blow like sandstorms today. So we're hoping that's not the case today. But I'm currently standing here at the Dana Secondary School, which is a Walvis Bay Urban Constituency polling station. And as you can see, there's a lot of people. People came with their chairs. People came with all that they need to just withstand this weather, you know, at the end of the day, and this long wait. But I've been visiting polling stations in town as well. I was there for I was at a few polling stations, and you could generally see that the people are in good spirits. The people are making jokes. They're laughing. It's almost the thing that I could get was that they have this sense of confidence that they know, no, I'm exercising my duty today. I'm voting. They know the ball is in their hands, and today Namibia and Walvis Bay and the rest of the country votes.
Leandra, have you picked up any challenges at the polling stations? Like I know some polling stations, some officials are still stamping documents and they haven't started yet. Did you pick up anything like this in some of these polling stations in Walvis Bay?
No, not yet. Basically, majority of the issue here is, you know, I'm standing in the queue since 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I have a friend of a friend who comes at 6 o'clock, and then you want to take my spot. So that's generally the issue on this side. But Walvis Bay or the Bainas are very progressive people, so they quickly sorted it out amongst themselves. Because I know there was an issue at the Lagoon Chalets in town, where something similar happened, but they quickly sorted it out. Generally, the process is a bit faster compared to the presidential elections where we had the EVMs. So inside, I know one of the candidates also spoke about the fact that at some polling stations, the ballot papers are too close to each other. So a voter can get confused and then just throw in their ballot that was supposed to go to local authority, throws it into the regional authority bin. But so far, so good. I'm hoping that the spirits of the people are is going to stay like this, because the police also said that they also feel the sense of calmness of the people around here, and we're hoping it's going to stay like that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so Leandre, if maybe you could just speak to us a little bit about representation, the number of, not the number rather, but the old people that turn up, and the young people as well. What would you say about that?
The youth. It's amazing to see the turn up by the youth. It's absolutely fantastic. I spoke to a lot of first-time voters, and although they were said, like, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but because one of the guys told me, like, no, this is part of adult life. You need to vote at the end of the day. You have the responsibility. So there's a lot of youth, a lot of first-time voters, and the outcome is absolutely fantastic. You know, even the old people as well, the pensioners, they came early. They're in front of, some of them are even the first ones in the row just to cast their vote. I had one lady at Navolgers van Christus polling station. When she came out, she was just singing and dancing, and she's like, yes, I'm done. So the turn-up is, we have about 50,000 registered voters, and by the polling stations I have been to in town and in Narva, you could see that we are almost there. It's hundreds and hundreds of people that came out to vote today.
Leandra, I see an orange chair there. I can't really see clearly what kind of chair it is. And I know today we're not supposed to see any campaign material. Have you picked up anything like this when you made your rounds in Walvis?
I had one incident at the Restoration Centre Urban Constituency polling station when one voter had an IPC T-shirt on. But one of the other parties had a fit there, and the police quickly sorted it out to say that no, you're not allowed to have your party colors here. So thus far, that's the only incident. But you know, the day is long. But I'm hoping that's not anymore else.
Thank you so much, Leandre. A fantastic job there that you're doing. And with that, we will now just show you an overview of videos of what is happening over there in the coast.
As I'm putting it, this thing is a bit. Can I put it? Okay. Vote casting.
My name is Rana Shalvino, in grade 12 at Enana Senior Secondary School. We went to vote. We went for the vote at Enana Youth Center, but we didn't vote because we are registered at Andobe constituency.
Okay, with me here is Kieran Hayward. He is a local authority candidate for PDM and he wore a suit for today's occasion. Now Kieran, please tell me what is so special about voting today that you decided to wear a suit?
Well, for the first time in 26 years, the residents of Walfish Bay are taking back their town.
Yes, definitely.
We are really seriously going to see change after this election. So, it's just fitting
exactly
that we dress for the occasion today.
Definitely. Now please tell me, anyone watching this right now, what would you like to tell them to please come out and vote?
I would like to implore the youth especially to come out and vote today. Cast your vote, make your voice heard, and please make an informed decision. Don't ride on popularity, populist politics or personalities. Look at the substance being offered by each and every political party or organization and vote accordingly. It's no use voting for people who are making empty promises they know they can't keep. Vote wisely today.
Thank you, Kieran. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Namibia. The reason why I am here today is to vote for my children's future. And I hope that this election is going to be very fair and without any corruption. This morning we had a little bit of shuffling this morning when the observers were told to be outside, but it was not explained properly by the presiding officer. But after our complaint, the police officer came and explained to us the procedures that one of the party members were supposed to be inside and the other one outside. If the other one is tired, the other one must come. So I hope, and I'm doing this for my children and grandchildren to come. Thank you very much.
Who's casting his vote here at Sauyema Combined School. What is your observation regarding the turnout at the polling station?
Well, it's too early to judge. I've been at almost 2-3 polling stations. I wanted to cast my vote at Kasote, but it seems they were still settling down. I decided to come over here. I was at Elia Neromba before Kasote, but the turnout, just as you said, it's still low. And just as I said, we might be too early to judge, but at the same time, I'm a bit worried that normally by this time we could have long queues by then, people coming in big numbers. But we've got a job to do seriously as participating organizations, associations, and political parties. We got to do the job, otherwise at the end of the day, it might not be as we expected. But so we'll see how we are going to progress in the course of the day. But we are a bit worried. We are a bit worried that people are not here in there.
My name is Juso Kampuche, Rongo Regional Council Chairperson. I was here this morning to cast my vote, part of my civic duty, and also to encourage other community members to do the same. I thought the experience was good. It was a good feeling, and also to contribute to democracy. The turnout of the people is encouraging. The process inside, though, I have to say it's a bit concerning. I expected a much smoother process, and what I've experienced in there, I understand on the other hand that we want to have young people, to have them employed and so on. But the process, if it continues that way, I have to say I'm a little bit concerned on the speed. However, the paper trail process, I think it's good. I can see that it does cast assurance of security. So that is good. So now we need to weigh up whether we have the patience to go through the process as it's supposed to be to ensure that the security is there, or we're going to have to say maybe increase the station so that the process is much faster. But we can only really determine that at the end of the day, looking at how many people turned out and how many cast their vote, how many were deterred maybe by the long process. Other than that, it was wonderful to be here. I'm most delighted, and I would encourage everyone else to do the same. It's our duty, our civic duty to vote.
We are with Ms. Joyce Dreyer, the presiding officer for fixed point number 106 at the Teachers Resource Center in Omaruru. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Are you ready?
I am ready. I was up at 4.
Yes?
Yes.
So how have preparations been?
No, it's been good so far. I hope we'll have a productive day today.
Yes. And then what can people expect when they arrived at your polling station?
It will be a smooth process. I can assure you of that.
Yes. Can you briefly take us through the process?
It's basically 6 steps. Sanitizer, ultraviolet light, your verifier, inker, and then you get your ballot papers. You cast your vote and then you're out the door. That's easy.
Voting starts at?
7 o'clock sharp.
And will conclude at?
9 o'clock.
Anything you want to tell the voters?
Please come and vote. Your vote counts.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
We are here at the Andreas Kukuri Centrum in Okahania, and it is 7:30. People are still waiting for the polling station to open.
Jemima, it is quite interesting and motivating to see a lot of young people turning up to vote. In the footage that we have seen, I've seen some learners rather in school uniform also walking to the polling stations to vote. I think at this moment in time, a lot of people are woke, especially the youth, because they know what is at stake. What is your thoughts on this?
Yes, like you say, there is indeed a sense of excitement hanging over the polling stations. I am a bit worried, though, that people may become worried throughout the day, as we have picked up some challenges at the polling stations, some polling stations where people have been delayed, where things are not running smooth. So I'm expecting people to turn away and go back home because they are frustrated with the process. But I'm hoping that it wouldn't be too big of a problem.
All right. With that, let's go for an ad break, and when we get back, we will take you up north and speak to one of our colleagues down there, and also just analyze what has been the elections, what has been going on over the years.
Would you like to see a smile or would you like to see a smile or apparatus? My name is Clarence Lampert. I am a sales executive at Paratus. When I started with Paratus 11 years ago, I was around the 26th employee, and we are now in excess of 190. The company has grown drastically. You know, we have worked hard to improve, you know, the network coverage in Namibia and abroad in SADC countries as well. So what I look forward to when coming to work every day is the customer queries and calls, proposals that I need to prepare for the customers, customer visits as well, out there to do some presentations on our products and services. So that's basically what I'm looking forward to, provide a service at the end of the day.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree. Oh.
Welcome back. Well, Jemima, let's speak up a little bit about the northern region. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, Limba, as much as we've seen political shifts taking place in the rest of the country, I do anticipate that SWAPO would still be able to retain the majority of local authority seats in the northern parts of the country. The issue is with the regional council, where the principle, the winner takes all, applies. We still see a bit of division, well, lots of division amongst political parties and even independent candidates coming and aggravating this division. So I'm expecting SWAPO to scoop most, if not all, the regional council seats in the 4 regions. SWAPO, it has always been a stronghold of SWAPO. We see a bit of a change coming with the independent candidates, Dr. Panduleni Itula and his party, the IPC. So we may see a little bit of change, but not significantly.
All right. With that, let's cross over to one of our colleagues who is in Oshakati to just speak to us a little bit about what is happening down there this morning.
Good morning, Lamba.
Hi, Tuno. Can you hear us?
Good morning, Jemima.
Hi,
yes,
Tuno, where are you?
I am currently at Mosipandeka Secondary School, and I have Miss Haralia Heshange, the presiding officer.
So what's happening there?
So the vote. So now the learners have just came. The students now of Mosipandeka Secondary School, and they'll be here to cast their votes. But also Miss Hilaria will be here to also speak to us today to shed more light on the process so far and how that has been going. So you are also more than welcome to speak to her.
So Ms. Hilaria, how did things start there at the polling stations? Have you picked up any challenges, and how are you dealing with it?
So far we don't have any. We didn't have any challenge. The process is going well.
So what can you say a little bit about the turnout of the voters?
Excuse?
The turnout of the voters, in your view, the numbers, how many, or rather, the young people. Do you see more young people, more old people?
Yeah, they are mixed. They are all here, all genders. I mean, they are balanced. The
Okay.
youth, they are all here.
Okay, so for those who are still trying to decide whether they should vote, what would your message be to them?
The message just that if you want to vote, since we are in Ongwediva constituency, if you want to vote, you must have your card written Ongwediva. For the local authority, your card should be written Ongwediva for you to qualify to vote for a local authority. And for the regional one, it must be written Ongwediva. If you have a card written not applicable, that means you are only going to vote for for regional authority. You are not going to vote for local authority.
To how many polling stations have you been since this morning, and what are the issues that you have picked up?
I have been at 3 polling stations so far. Before we get into that, is it fine if Ms. Hendrina, we're done with Ms. Hilaria, sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jemima. So I've been to 3 polling stations so far, but I would say that the process is very slow because some people came as early as 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, but then they were still further towards the end of the queue. As I mentioned that the students have arrived now, I'm just going to so we'll be able to see that the students are here now and they are ready to cast their vote. So the process is going quite slow in these constituencies.
To know what could be the reason be perhaps for the slowness?
It's probably because of when I went to Merolio Park, they said that they already had their bowling papers in stock and they already had that in line. I would say that probably the reason why it's going a bit slow is the process inside, the registration, the verification process, because at some point the system was offline, so they could not scan the cards.
Do you think that could perhaps now deter some of the potential voters rather from turning up?
Yeah, no, definitely, because the queues are moving quite slow, as I mentioned. But it's picking up. So we are hoping that it will not be like this for the rest of the day. I will be moving shortly to Otapi and Noshikuku to see how the process is going in that part of Oshana region.
Thank you so much, Tono. Fantastic work that you're doing down there. With that, we'll take a break, and when we get back, Jemima will engage Graham Woodward, our second guest.
you are considering Paratus as a business partner, there are 4 main reasons why I would recommend them. Number 1, speed. You will come across many ISPs who promise high speeds, but Paratus is the one that will deliver on those promises. Secondly, consistency. Speed, latency, uptime, and most importantly service are all attributes that Paratus consistently delivers. Thirdly, customer service. No ISP can deliver 100% uptime. So when things do go wrong, you want to be able to contact a central point where knowledgeable staff understand your issues and strive to resolve them, keeping you updated during the repair process. And lastly, a central point of contact with staff. I can build a relationship with certain staff at the NOC or help desk, those that know my environment, which aids the speedy resolution of any issues I may encounter. So when asked what features sold you on Paratus as a business partner, I would say the first would be personal service. In a day and age of auto attendance and call centers, it's comforting to know that I can still call someone directly for assistance. Secondly, reliability and uptime. You cannot put a price on reliability. And lastly, we do care attitude. That is the feeling I get from all Paratus staff. The buck does not get passed on to the next department. So in closing, there are 2 things I would like to add. Number 1, don't rush in and make a decision based on price. Make that decision based on people's experiences. Ask around and talk to others who have or have had the product. It does not help to save on a product that does not deliver as promised. Making an educated decision will save you hours of frustration. Lastly, Richard Branson sums up the ethos of the Paratus management. If you look after your staff, they will look after your customer. It's as simple as that.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree.
Welcome back. Today we're speaking to Graham Hopwood, who's from the IPPR. Graham is also a political analyst, so he'll be giving us his insight into what has been happening so far in terms of the voting process, as well as to talk to us about the role of civil society when it comes to politics. Thank you for joining us, Graham.
Great, good to be here.
Graham, firstly, what have you picked up from this morning's voting process that is still ongoing?
Basically long and slow moving queues from most places, it seems. Obviously the long queues are encouraging in the sense that people are turning out, but the slowness of the process is what worries me quite a lot. That we might end up with long queues throughout the day and even people waiting to vote at 9 o'clock tonight. So I'm a bit concerned about that, just generally the logistical slowness, but also the COVID procedures that are probably going to slow things down as well.
Now, talking about civil society, Graham, civil society in Namibia has come under a lot of criticism in the last few years. People feel it doesn't really have the teeth to hold government accountable. In your view, what exactly should civil society do to effectively hold government accountable and to strengthen democracy?
Yeah, I counter that a little bit. I think civil society has actually been very active really since 2014, when we had the My Constitution, My Decision campaign against constitutional changes, when we saw organizations working together, getting more involved and organizing in different ways to lobby and pressurize. And I think that's continued since then in different forms. You know, the Me Too campaigns, campaigns against phosphate mining, a whole range of demonstrations, but also lobbying campaigns that have taken place, obviously up to the recent Shut It All Down movement. So we have seen, and corruption of course has become a big issue, so we've seen bigger protests and more involvement in anti-corruption issues. So considering that civil society in terms of its organization is weak and doesn't really have access to many resources or funding, we've actually seen an upsurge of activity, which is how civil society should be operating. That's a way of holding the leaders to account, calling them out in public, but also coming up with alternatives and being constructive as well, and trying to work with those parts of government that want to work with us to kind of create better policies and better options for the future. So I agree that it could be a lot better, but at least I think we're moving in the right direction at the moment, and civil society is becoming more active. I think the problem has been the lack of recognition and responsiveness from government. Mm-hmm. So State House has been pretty negative for years about civil society. They basically see us as having no mandate because we're not elected, and also backdoor politicians or failed politicians that the president has used several times to try and dismiss civil society. But there are other parts of government that are a bit more responsive and where we can work together. But overall, it would be nice to have a more welcoming and understanding approach from the leadership at the top.
Graham, like you said, there's been an upsurge of protests around the country. We see protests taking place every second month, if not every month these days, for the first time in years. Do you think this is giving us a sense of Namibians feeling that they can hold government accountable, or what else can we read into this?
Obviously there's a level of frustration, I think, so I think there's growing frustration on various issues. But it's also a sign that Namibia's democracy is working to some extent, in the fact that people feel free enough to go out and protest on the streets and raise their issues. So, I think on the positive side, it's part of being a developing democracy. We're actually reaching a more mature stage now. So, I prefer to see it in that light. But obviously, politically, if we look at these election and last year, there is obviously more frustration out there. With the economy, the lack of jobs, lack of opportunities, and related issues. So, these are now being expressed through protests and demonstrations. And on the whole, I think it's healthy, but the people in charge need to listen. They say they're listening, so let's hope that's the case.
Now, in your view, what do you think were the drawcards that pulled voters to the polls this time around?
In many ways, this is like the national election of last year, part 2. So in the past, our local and regional polling was quite low key, pretty low turnouts, nowhere near the kind of media attention or social media interest that this election has generated. So I think it's largely to do with the fact that people are thinking about the same issues they were thinking about last year, which is, we need to have an economy that's producing jobs. We need to have an economy that's growing in some way, and we haven't had that for 4 years. And we need to deal with these issues like corruption, which haven't gone away in the last 12 months. So I think my impression is that people aren't really thinking on the local and regional. Mostly, they're thinking about the big national issues and what they want to see in the future. And to some extent, I think what happened last year was a protest vote, in the sense of SWAPO losing some support. So the interesting issue here is, will SWAPO continue to lose support, or will they somehow have consolidated in 12 months and be able to at least stay at the level of the National Assembly result, which was 65%. So I think if they start going below that, then that's a sign that the public have not been convinced by what government has done in the last 12 months.
Well, you've said, in conclusion, you've talked about a number of issues, corruption, which in your view has brought about what is seen as a protest vote. In your view, what is the impact that issue-based voting has on service delivery as opposed to party-based voting?
Well, I don't think there's any possibility that the government hasn't realised that the big issues are basically in the state of the economy and the fact that people see money being ripped off through large-scale government corruption. And so I think that the impact should be positive. It all depends if government is prepared, as they say, to say, we have heard you. Okay, well, if you've heard us, what are you doing about it? That's the question that hasn't been answered. So I think that again, probably positively, the issues are being raised now, at least some of the key issues. Even the GBV issue, even the Botswana issue of security, these are all relevant to people on the ground, communities on the ground who go through these experiences every day. So in the sense that they're coming to the fore, it's a good thing, because the government now knows, well, we have to act on this. A, we are being told by the public these are the issues, and B, if we want to survive as a political party, we have to be responsive. So I'm relatively hopeful in that sense. What isn't happening is a kind of political coherence, because you have so many opposition and all these independent candidates. It's really difficult to know exactly where they all stand. And I've met quite a few voters who've said, I'm not very keen on, I know I don't want to vote for the ruling party, but I can't actually choose between all these opposition or independents, because they're quite confused in the way they present themselves. So we lack a sort of coherent political opposition at the moment. And that's why I think people are probably more voting on protest on certain issues.
Thank you very much for joining us in the studio today, Prem. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to look at some pictures that will give us an insight of what's happening on the ground.
Gabriel, so my tip. My name is Jeffrey Olivier. I'm head of department for voice and maintenance at Paratus. I've been engaged at Paratus for a little bit over 5 years, going for 6 years now in November. When I get to the office, I'm not a coffee drinker, so immediately I dig in. We have our technical meeting just 7:30. My typical day is I interact with clients on a regular basis. So even it means telephonically engage with Teams meetings, see a client downstairs, and then I give support as well for my team outside, technical support. Our culture is extraordinary. Our culture is, we are based on fundamentals, and that's why each person that works for this organization is handpicked. I believe best day at the company is usually when we have our end of the month pride.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree. Oh.
Yes, of course, with that, we will now look at the 2014-2015 Oshana regional election results, or with a focus on the Oshakati West. So, as we can see there, registered voters were 17,630 in 2015, with a turnout percentage of 33.4%. Jemima, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm looking at the turnout. One would have to 31% is very low for people to vote in when people really have issues with government's pace at which it delivers services. So one would really hope that more people are coming out this time around, and but one begins to lose vote when you see all these challenges coming through. When people are struggling at the polling station already so early in the morning, one is worried that people will not feel encouraged to cast their vote at all. But that has always been a very strong area for SWAPO. So one expects, even with the challenges, that SWAPO would still do very well there.
Yeah. All right. You know, predominantly SWAPO is reigning in the north. What are your thoughts on what motivates the citizens to vote? Could it be loyalty towards SWAPO?
In the 4O regions, the politics is still very much party-based. And people believe in SWAPO that has brought liberation for people that has gone through a brutal apartheid regime. So we are still a very long way from moving away. The young people, yes, they are looking at independent candidates, but SWAPO is also a very family-based party. People still see themselves. You still hear young people say, "I'm a SWAPO baby." So it's very difficult. We won't see much change, a very big swing from this kind of mentality in the next few years.
All right. With that, let's have a look at some of the footage that is coming through from the polling stations.
We started 7 o'clock with the voting process, and all is going well. There is no hiccups so far, and I believe we got it in approximately amount of 34 voters so far. or maybe 40. Thank you.
And just one question, how long does it take for one voter to cast his vote, from the moment he enters the polling station until he is done?
Approximately 3 to 4 minutes per voter.
I see, okay. Thank you very much, Wilbert.
Thank you, sir.
I'm at Ngadiva Maila Park. So far the process is going well. We still have a lot of people in the queue, but we are sure we will attend them.
This is a UV light, just to identify the voters having ink on their forms here. So I have to use this just for them to know if they are already voted or not yet. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right, I'm here with the mayor of Arandas, that is His Worship Risto Kapenda. How are you doing this morning?
No, I'm very excited and I'm doing very, very well.
All right.
Very fine.
So you're excited because you also casted your vote here at, that is the Colin Foundation Secondary School.
Yes, I was the second person to cast my vote here at Colin. And the reason why I chose Colin is because it's one of our flagships of our education institutions in the town.
Yes.
And I stood up early in the morning at 5.
Yes.
To make sure that I was one of the first people to cast my vote.
All right.
By so doing, pave the way for the next leadership.
Exactly. Now, how has the voting process been so far? Have you experienced any hiccups? What did you observe from your side when you came to cast your vote?
No, thus far there were no hiccups, there were no hassles, no problems. Everything was smooth, and I went around to other stations as well, and I see people are peaceful, people are excited, people are laughing with each other.
Yes.
And that's the best you can expect from Arandis. That's why we are called A-Town.
A-Town.
Yes.
In terms of turnout, have you been, you said you've been walking around in town. Have you been happy with the turnout for people who are coming to cast their vote?
Yes, it was amazing to see so early in the morning, but the numbers are so much. It looks like I think the institutions and workplaces have also maybe given the holiday to their people, a day off, because the lines are quite significant.
Yeah.
And as you remember, we are supposed to adhere to the rules and regulations of COVID-19.
Yes.
But the people are still many, and they are keeping their distances.
All right. Any last remarks from you, His Worship?
No, the remark is only that I'm urging the whole nation to cast their vote in peaceful way. And we must just know that Namibia is ours, no matter whatever political background. Namibia is ours, and we need to make it work. We don't need even to emulate anybody else, but we just need to do our own thing and make sure whatever leadership is going to come into existence, it went through a process that is guaranteed by our constitution.
All right, thank you very much, His Worship, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, and I hope you have also casted your vote.
I will do so.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, with me here is Carl Philander. He is a former intern at the Irongo and he's also one of the former My Zone kids. How are you doing today, Carl?
Well, thanks, Leah. How are you?
I'm good. Now, Carl, you're also a first-time voter. How are you feeling today?
I'm super excited. It's new things as well. And I hope there are a lot of youth out there that are voting as well. It's very important, and this is what the adult life is right now. We need to take that step, and I'm super excited. I don't know what the outcome will be, but it's just awesome to know I'm part of it.
Awesome, thank you so much, Carl, and all the best.
Thank you.
Hoekom is hy so stadig? Hoekom is hy so stadig? Hy moet mos bietjie vinniger gaan. Dat ons vroeër bietjie kan klaarkom.
Is dit? Hoe laat het u hier aangekom?
Ek het nou net gekom, ek weet nou nie. Is dit nou 8 uur of is dit nou 9 uur?
Nee. Maar hulle sê dan hulle het op tyd begin.
Ons moet maar kyk hoe sal dit gaan.
Okay. Ja. Dink jy is 'n party sal wen? Sy kandidaat?
Ek glo hy sal wen.
Okay.
Ja.
Thank you.
Baie dankie.
Yes, thank you so much to our correspondents on the ground, you know, sending through the footage and the photos of what is happening at the polling stations in the respective regions. And now we'll move over to one of our colleagues, Kenya Kamboy, in the Kavango region, to just speak to us about what has been up to this morning and obviously just the atmosphere on the ground. Kenya?
Kenya, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Kenya, so where are you this
Can you
morning?
hear me?
Yes, we can. It's nice to see you.
This morning, same over here. Basically, right now I'm in Rundu Rural at Kayangona, at the National Authority Office, which is having a polling station.
So what is the feeling on the ground?
No, basically the feeling on the ground is the elderly are in numbers, as well as there are also around 40 students from the local school who have joined the queue to vote today. But next to me, as you can see, I have Mr. Paulus from the community who is about to cast his vote. And if you maybe can just allow me to interview for our viewers.
Yes, please.
Okay, Mr. Paulus, can you briefly just tell us why are you here today?
So I came here to vote our candidate, councillor.
Okay. Tell me, why is this vote important for you? Why are you here? Why? What changes do you want to see in your community?
As we want changes here in our community, as you can see in our community, we are having a lot of things which is not well prepared.
Yes.
The road, and we need even electricity in our community.
Okay. And the response from the community, I'm sure you saw the queues. The elderly are here, the youth are here. Are you happy with the turnout of the people who came to?
Yes, I'm happy with them. So we need to make a change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Okay, back in the studio.
Yes, Kenya. Maybe just to share with us a little bit, what are just some of the challenges that you have gone through this morning?
Okay, basically what happened is that I woke up this morning as early as 6 o'clock, went to majority of the polling stations in Rundu Urban, and to be honest, most of the polling stations, they opened on time. There were not much challenges, and the turnout is also less in the urban area, whereby you find the polling station with only 10 to 15 people. But to my surprise, I drove out of town to Kaingona, which is around 10 kilometers. I came to the community hall. The people are here in numbers. The elderly are here in numbers. And to my surprise, I also observed here just behind me at the Kaingona, at the Sun Authority polling station, there are two queues, one for the elderly and one for the youth, whereby the elderly are given a priority, like 3 of them will go in, and then one of the young people, one of the youth will go in.
Kenya, have you been inside any of the polling stations this morning, and how is things going there? Kenya, are you there? Are you there? Can you hear us? Looks like we've lost the connection there with Kenya. So we'll go over and have some ad break.
Okay. I went to some
point. He's back.
Like I was in the room first. Yeah. Okay.
Are you fine?
Jemima?
Yes, I can hear
I'm fine.
you clearly.
Can you hear me?
So I was asking.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying. Yes.
Were you inside any of the polling stations? What exactly is happening there?
No, basically what, like I said, I was in the Rundu urban polling stations. What I've seen, they are mostly using schools and classrooms, which are a bit confined, and the process is fast. The process is fast. It takes like roughly 3 to 5 minutes to assist the person from the step 1 until they cast their 2 votes in those elections. But coming here at the Rundu rural, it's a bit slow because majority of the people here are the elderly, and they are basically taking much time. It takes more than 5 to assist one elderly, and they have demarcated the polling station in such a way there's a lot of movement. It's a big open area, so much of the time is also wasted in the process. And I've tried to engage the presiding officer to let them know, for you guys to have a much quicker process is to have the stations to how can I say the different stakeholders within the polling station closer to one another, so that the people can have less movement and they can just move from one desk to another. But all in all, the process they are going smooth and they are fine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kenya. With that, we'll go for an ad break, and when we get back, we will move over to our colleague Elizabeth Joseph in the Karas region to just obviously also take us through what is happening on the ground.
Yes.
is Yurwa Kahure, nickname Sono, currently holding a position of NOC escalations at Paratus. I've been at Paratus for 16 years. We now became a family being here. Everyone is definitely putting in their input, working on a situation, getting it resolved quickly. It has been time with Paratus for the length of how the company was to what it is right now and what it's focused to be. Being at Paratus has been the growth of the company and our self individually. When we talk about the future, it is what is Paratus doing at the moment. The concern is about service. If you constantly hold on to the word service, customer is involved from the beginning till the end. Customer is informed and everyone is good.
Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree.
Welcome back from that ad break. Now we'll move over to the Karas region where we'll speak to Elizabeth Joseph. Hello,
Agricultural
Elizabeth.
Show Hall. Hi.
Hi,
can
Elizabeth.
You hear me?
Yes.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Great, fantastic, beautiful head, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. I think it's very essential for all of us to be wearing a hat like this.
Yes, the South is a very hot place after all, and it is a hotbed of political activity with the LPM vying for positions there. So what's happening there?
It's crazy, actually. Here it's very quiet. I was just inside now and I was watching people cast their votes, and it's crazy how calm everything is, and the lines seem to be moving at a very easy pace. People are here with chairs. You know, there hasn't been any drama yet, but I feel like there is always room for some.
So Elizabeth, maybe just any challenges that you have experienced so far?
So far, nothing. I spoke to the coordinator, the regional coordinator here in the Karas region, Mr. Agustinius Ukam, and he was telling me that everything seemed to be moving surprisingly easy. The flow was easy. He said that they didn't really have a lot of challenges in regards to the ballot papers, and also just having people act in a ruly way. So there are no challenges here, not that I can see.
Have you spoken to any young people?
There are a lot of young people, but they seem to be passive. Everyone just tries to avoid the camera, but I can see that they turned up in a very large number here, especially at this polling station in Westdean.
So what do you think the importance of young people turning up to the polling stations and voting, and not obviously funding them at braai areas and whatsoever not? Why is this important for young people?
I think it is very vital for young people to initially just become a part of the whole process, because I feel like once you know that your voice matters and your vote actually counts, then it will be a way easier process for you to show up to a polling station, any polling station, and just cast a vote, because at most of the rallies you heard that young people are the ones at the forefront of needing a lot of things, you know. So I feel like a lot of these young people came with a big expectation today.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for for taking the time out to speak to us.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes, now moving forth, let's have a look at the regional election results of 2015 in the Karas region, obviously with the focus of Keetmanshoop. Well, obviously on the tab we don't have the turnout percentage, or is that Nami? Is it Noos? All right, let's just quickly move over to Keetmanshoop Eben. Yes, as you can see there, 10,518 registered voters with a turnout percentage of 30.6%. What are your thoughts on this, Jemima, and in general, just the election taking place in the Karas region?
As you can see, the SWAPO has been victorious in that region for a while now, Limba. The Karas region, and especially Keetmanshoop, has been a stronghold of SWAPO 2 for a very long time, but it looks like it is beginning to change with LPM on the scene now. We have seen LPM landing 4 National Assembly positions because of what is because of Bernardo Swartboy that has now come on the scene. We will have to see, though, if SWAPO has managed to consolidate some new votes in the last 12 months.
Thank you so much, Jemima. And with that, let's move over and just take a look at some of the footage that is also coming through from that side.
Yeah, we came to vote early morning here. Like myself, I came around 4 o'clock morning, and the queue was long. We need the changes. I came to vote. I need to develop our country, and I need the changes. You know, like us, we don't have a house. Like myself, I don't have a house. Why not government provided for us, for poor people? At least we give them maybe a portion or a plot. Myself, I can build. I can make a plan to build. But I want to come morning time here to vote our councillor. We need a change. Then the councillor can go and talk with the leaders. Why I came here early morning.
Hear me? I'll come closer. I'm speaking to Mr. Noah Mugewa, yes, the presiding officer for Fixed Station 101 or Zonje Hall in Omaruru. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, man.
Yes.
Tell me, how's things been going?
No, everything is smooth. So
Smooth.
We have started on the time, 7 o'clock, so everything is fine. As you can even see, how is the turnout of the people. They are coming.
Yes.
So we are there.
Any issues?
No issues.
Okay, because where I come from at the hospital, they just arrested someone with a cell phone,
No,
taking photos. You don't have that
no,
stuff?
I don't have that scenario, but and
Yes.
I don't have any other questions to answer to.
Yeah, are the voters behaving?
We are all behaving. Everything is fine, under control.
Yes, and how long does it take for a person to vote here at your polling station?
Approximately 3 minutes.
3 to 4 minutes. Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, my pleasure.
I'm Ms. Ruporo, presiding officer at LWC. The process is going well. Our polling station open on times 7 o'clock. Voters are coming. I'm busy putting on the secrecy stamp on our ballot papers.
Why
Why did you vote?
I want to help. I'm going to vote because I want to help us to get the electricity and water because we struggle for water and electricity. If you go to bush, the problem, if you go to bush, someone's go to get you there, she goes beat you or she goes make you, it's not good things.
It's very dangerous.
Yes.
And you've got a little baby, so it's for a better future.
No, just like that, struggle. Doesn't have a job. The job is closed because of this time for Corona. Then you struggle. You make the small business to get something to eat with your child. That is the problem.
Thank you very much. Why did you vote?
I want to help. I'm going to vote because I want to help us to get.
Well, of course, Jemima, we have spoken about the Erongo region. We have spoken about the 4O regions. We have also touched on the Karas region as well. Can you please just take us through, what you've picked up from this morning?
Well, Limba, voting is taking place, albeit at a very slow pace. We cautiously anticipate that the process will accelerate during the day. In the Erongo region, Walvis Bay in particular, the lines are long. With the fish rod bribery scandal hanging as a ghost over the town, and we believe it will certainly play a very big role in the way people are voting there. We are seeing people lining up in other parts of the country, in Windhoek as well. We are hoping that people would stand out because several challenges have been picked up, and we will have to see how this plays out.
All right. Thank you so much, Jemima. And of course, thank you to all the correspondents that are in the region sending us that footage as well as photos. And with that, we will be back at 12 o'clock where your presenters will be Danny Boyson as well as Twevo and Jabela. If you'd like to see statistics of how the elections have, gone, the percentages and whatsoever not over the years, please do go to elections.com.na. The stats are there for you to see. And with that, thank you so much.
Thank you.